When I was in middle school, my big high school goal was to be on the softball team. I made it through 2 weeks of summer training and went, yeah, this is like not it. I also decided to focus on a different kind of sport. Because let's face it, running up and down stairs in heels should qualify as a fucking sport. And before you say anything, no, I'm not a lesbian. I'm bisexual, actually. I don't hit singles, I hit doubles. That's a lie. I sucked at smashing balls. But there are a lot of other stereotypes similar to this one about the bi community. And as frustrating as they are coming from straight individuals, it is even more so coming from the queer community itself. Why are you booing? I'm right! At least one of my friends agrees with me, Rich Ferraro, actually glad chief communications officer who was all like, Annie, did you know that despite bisexual individuals comprising of the largest population in the LGBTQ community, they face higher rates of stigmas and discrimination as their experiences and identities are less likely to be understood than their gay and lesbian counterparts. And I was all like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Thank you, Rich. That's not very slay the house boots down for us. So, how can we slay? We must first look at the current problem of biphobia, then explore the origins of modern biphobia and Western civilization before finally drawing some solutions on how we can help bi individuals in the future. Because ain't no lie, bi people do exist, and we're just sick of being told otherwise. Okay, honestly, the softball stereotype does make sense. Have you seen those girls play softball? Damn! The Human Rights Campaign defines biphobia as the fear of talking to pretty girls. I mean, the fear and hatred of or discomfort with those who love and are sexually attracted to more than one gender. In order to find the origins of modern biphobia, we must first look at the problem, being biphobia persisting in both the straight and queer communities and through stereotyping. The British Psychological Association's article, People Erase My Existence, explains how the LGBTQ community that supposedly promotes inclusivity excludes the bi community. Which, for a community that Ryan Murphy's a part of, are we really surprised here, guys? They continue that in the 2020 Boston versus Clayton County court case that banned discrimination based off of sexual orientation, gay and trans individuals were specified, but bisexual individuals were not. Next, moving on to everyone's favorite form of moderate discrimination, stereotyping. Because if there's one thing that queer people like to do, it's make fun of bi people. I actually overheard at a speech tournament a while back someone saying that bi people can only say the first half of the F slur. That's the only part that matters! What are people supposed to be saying? God? Like, there are a plethora of different stereotypes out there, the most prominent one being that bisexual individuals are promiscuous, immoral beings that cheat on their partners. Whoever crafted this stereotype has obviously never met a bi person before. For if you, or a loved one, gets no bitches, you may be bisexual. Our dating pool has literally multiplied and we're still single? The math isn't mathing here, guys. These types of stereotypes not only harm our community, but create a negative impression towards those who do not understand this community. On my defense of leaving the softball team, those girls looked a lot like Olympian rugby player Alona Mar. And I love me some Alona Mar, guys. Okay. Now that we've taken a closer look at what's going on, we can find the origin of biphobia to be through a lack of understanding and the AIDS epidemic. In rockandart.org's article, Navigating Bisexuality in a Binary World, they explain how only the ends of the spectrum seem visible because of this perceived binary world we live in. As the Kinsey scale entails, on one end of the spectrum is heterosexuality, and on the other, homosexuality. With bisexuality in the middle, it is neglected and overlooked, thus leading to stereotyping. Next, the AIDS epidemic. Now, the main problem of biphobia honestly stems from the same source of problems everywhere. A white man? No! The AIDS epidemic fully launched modern extreme biphobia into the stratosphere, specifically among bi men. The New York Times on April 3rd, 1987 released an article entitled AIDS Spectre for Women, the Bisexual Man, which discussed women's fear of getting the AIDS virus from bi men. In fact, executive director of the Bisexual Counseling Services of San Francisco of the time, David Larea, said how bi men would be scapegoated as carriers of the plague. Oh, but Annie, this was during the Reagan era. Things have changed since then. Oh my God, you're so right. The Independent on October 17th, 2023, released an article entitled, "Why Don't Women Want to Date Bi Men?" Because of the notion they are secretly gay, cheaters, or disease carriers. See, guys? No bitches. These articles, written 40 years apart, prove that just like Reaganites, some things never change. Okay, I really honestly don't understand how playing softball isn't a bi stereotype. You're going back and forth from playing with a ball and mitt to a stick. Come on, guys. Now I'm sure you're wondering, Annie, can there really be any kind of solutions to this? Yes, actually. To quote Jojo Siwa, I am going to end homophobia through 1, better representation, and 2, consciousness of language in our community. Bi media up until the late 2010s was honestly just plain ass, guys. In season 3 of Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw dated a bi man and gave this now infamous statement: "I think it's just a layover on the way to Gay Town." Bitch, please! However, representation has increased tremendously since then. Rosa Diaz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Evan Buckley from 911, the Babadook! Miss Girl came out of the closet on her own accord. What an icon. With having these images on screen, it allows bi individuals to feel seen. How very goth of us, guys. Next, consciousness of language. This situation is truly about us as a community. I literally heard a bi joke at a speech tournament. We have to give a voice to those who are less heard than others. Because if we can make room for our lesbian, gay, trans, queer, all the letters, all the colors, all the alphabets, why can't we make space for our bi peers? I'm not pulling these solutions out of my ass here, guys. I'm just saying that we have to do better. And even though it seems like common sense for a lot of people, it's not. I feel like you lack common sense. I can sense it through the camera. So, after this is over, go down into the comments to find a Linktree with resources such as Bi Media, with the Trevor Project Human Rights Campaign, and others. Oh, how did he get in there? Safe and sound. Oh. Here we go. There's also this tiny little QR code if that floats your boat. This isn't going to end homophobia. Okay, Jojo Siwa and I lied. But this can hopefully allow others to understand more, especially in our community. Because whether you like it or not, we're not going anywhere. Today, we ran to first looking at the problems of biphobia, stole at second exploring the origins, before getting tagged out at third looking at solutions, because turns out we sucked at softball the entire time. Biphobia isn't going anywhere. Discrimination in and of itself is not going anywhere. Sex and the City fans aren't going anywhere, and that scares me worst of all. But we can hopefully allow others to understand more. Now, to end this, in the wise words of Glee's Blaine Anderson, I would tell you bye, but you might get offended.